Hi, I'm glad you're here. My name's Crystal, and I'm the founder and CEO of Career Conversationalists. And parents hire me to help their child select a relevant career. And today we're here to continue on with our mini series regarding finance your kids' college education with $27. And the reason today's episode is we are going to be specifically talking about why now is the right time to find scholarships. So, what this is it's about opening up your awareness as far as when is a good time to start looking for scholarships. Because what happens is a lot of times families wait until the senior year that their child is in high school, and then by that time they've missed out on a lot of opportunities and they're missing out on money to pay for college. And as far as why is this important, talk about what it is. As far as why is this important is because college is a large expense and it puts a lot of pressure on your child to try in less than 1 year create or get all these to find the scholarships, to apply to them, and then try to be awarded them all within 1 year to pay for college, especially if it's a 2 year, 4 year degree. That puts a lot of pressure and anxiety on your child. Your child gets in this cycle of overwhelm, and then they're like, they don't know where to start, so they don't get started. So it's really important to have this conversation about when is a good time to start and why is it the right time to start now. So I do want to point out that your child can and is able to get scholarships as far as in being in junior high, high school, and college. A surpriser to some people, but yes, there are scholarships available for students in junior high. And oftentimes what happens is whatever organization is providing the scholarship will just hold the scholarship in their account, will hold the money for your child until your child gets to that age, and then lets them know that, yes, this is where I want to go to school. Please send the check here. So it's really important for your child to start thinking about and developing these skill sets as far as understanding the entire process, because it's like thinking of it as someone else having a savings account for your child. Someone else is willing to hold, a couple hundred, couple $1,000 for your child to go through school, and will hold that money in a bank account for your child until your child's ready and needs the money to spend on tuition and related expenses. So another thing that people might not be aware of is that, yes, there are a lot of scholarships available for kids in freshman, sophomore, junior year of high school, as well as the senior year. Some scholarships are like specifically like sophomore only in high school. A lot of scholarships will say like freshmen through seniors in high school. Some scholarships are seniors only. It just depends upon each organization. Generally, most scholarships that I find tend to be for all 4 years of high school or for the senior year. A lot of it just depends on the organization and how much money they have available to donate. The larger organizations certainly have more funds, and so when they think about kids progressing through school, they want to reward them for taking action, planning ahead early, planning out their career, and they understand college is expensive, and that's why they're willing to give scholarships that a child can apply to multiple times. So a great reason to get started early is because if your child applies to a scholarship as a freshman, based on the organization, they may be able to apply to that one scholarship 4 times, and that's a lot of leverage. So that's why it's important to get started early, because a lot of those scholarships also for high school will carry on to college as well, and so your child can just keep applying to the same scholarship over and over and over again. All right, so now we're going to talk about scholarships that lay the foundation, internships, and fellowships. And this is extremely important because a lot of times I think what happens is people think, oh, well, like a scholarship is there to help pay for college. It might be an extra $1,000. That's nice. And then they just think of it like that's it, rather than thinking of it as a stepping stone to something else. And so as far as what is a paid internship, it's similar to, it's not quite a job, but it's your child's working to gain knowledge, experience, and exposure. And the difference between an internship and volunteering is your child getting exposure, going out, being more of an assistant. Or an internship's more like, okay, you have this responsibility, as go do it and report back to us. And because there is some work involved, they're paid. It's a more of a paid internship versus a non-paid internship, but there's still a lot of similarities between applying for a scholarship and a paid internship. So your child still needs to have the ability to represent themselves well, still needs to have a resume, still needs to understand how to submit the paperwork as far as getting letters of recommendation, understanding the interview process, being able to talk about themselves, and having really good follow-up. And then what happens is when your child starts developing these skill sets with scholarships, it makes it easier to pivot and get a paid internship. And then if your child wants to continue forward and start working towards a master's or a PhD, then it's easier for your child to position into getting a fellowship. And a fellowship is pretty much it's a large award. Typically, they tend to pay a lot more money per award, but it's also because by that point in time, students have shown that they're committed to go to school. I know right now, statistically, a lot of kids that go to college drop out. And so there are some organizations that say we want you to either get through your first 2 years of college to show that you're serious, or by the time you've earned your first or second degree, we see that you're serious with school and you're a good candidate, so we're willing to invest in you more. And that's what's so important about scholarships and why they help pivot, is because your child gets better with the process. And so as the money becomes, or the awards become larger and larger, your child has had more time to refine his or her skills in terms of practice interviewing and being able to talk about themselves, so that they'll be able to more easily wow the people who are interviewing them. So I want to take a moment to share Marissa's story and how she has progressed from getting scholarships awards for $1,000 to progressing to paid internships for $5,000 in a 10-week period, and all the kinds of wonderful hands-on experience and networking she's gotten from that to what she's doing now. So I started working with Marissa when she was a freshman in high school, and she was really worried about how to pay for college. And so what happens is a lot of times as a parent, you're worried about how to afford college, but your child picks up on that anxiety and has anxiety as well. In fact, I was just reading a study by Sally Mae, who has, they basically give out loans, student loans and parent loans for for college. And they did a study saying that kids actually worry more about college related experiences than parents. So if you're worried about it, just imagine, what is your kid going through? I mean, all that anxiety, it adds up. Marissa, I know that her mother was concerned about affording college because her family, makes too much money to qualify for financial need. And she thought, oh, we're not going to be able to qualify much for financial aid. So if they were going to pay for college using scholarships, she was just kind of like really kind of hesitant. Like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, but aren't scholarships for people who are in financial need? And so Marissa was just a go-getter. And in the beginning, she was interested in what scholarships are. And she ended up stumbling across a couple of them, where it was more like, you did a really good job in this career fair, and so we're going to award you $1,000. And it's like, oh, wow, like I qualified for a scholarship. And they didn't ask me what my financial need was. It was more academic based performance. And that's when she really started piquing her interest about, well, if I can get that scholarship, what other scholarships can I get? What else is out there? And she started being more proactive and started applying. And then, she got a scholarship for $2,000. And it was like, yay, that's double the amount of money than one. So she went from 1,000 to 2,000. And so it was like, okay, well, how do you keep progressing? And so throughout high school, she started going through the process. And by the end of her senior year in high school, she was able to have enough scholarship money saved to pay for her first year of college. And then she just kept going. It was like, wow, okay. And so she decided she wanted to apply for a paid internship that was for 10 weeks. So she did. And it was really helpful because she was familiar with how to do scholarship interviews in high school. It was like, okay, this is the next step. Let's refine that process. And she had a lot less butterflies in her stomach because we had already talked about, well, what kind of questions are they going to ask? We had already done role playing. So the concept wasn't completely foreign or new to her. She had less anxiety than when she had first began because she had already had some practice. And that forward has really helped her, you know, the paid internship allowed her to travel. It allowed her to work with mentors on her own science project. She got feedback. She started developing a network. They were impressed with her. She got to present to a small community, and then they liked it so much that they paid to send her to travel to come to present her findings to a larger community, and again pay for the travel and the food. So it's really done well for her, and she's at a point now where she's getting ready to apply to another opportunity that's even larger that requires even more preparation. And so rather than having this huge obstacle to overcome, it's more like this is where she wants to be, but over time, the rewards have gotten bigger and bigger, and she's risen up to that level. So it's a really good idea for your kid to start early because it gives your kid practice. It gives your child the ability to see the growth that they've made, and one of the reasons why I love what I do is because I get to watch kids' self-esteem raise and increase. All right, so my question to you is, what would life look like if your child progressed on a path similar to Marissa? What would happen if your child started in, junior high or high school to start having the scholarship conversation and had a list of scholarships and started thinking about their future? What would your life look like if your kid was actively taking action, spending 10 minutes a day planning ahead? 10 minutes a day over a period of time adds up. Child would be actively going towards something that's going to benefit them rather than just waiting till the last minute or till the deadline to take care of stuff. What would your life look like if you didn't have to worry about planning ahead because your child was already taking action? Would you have less anxiety about how to afford college? I hope so. And that's why I want to invite you, and that's why I have a special invitation for you. And pretty much I want to tell you about this new project called the Scholarship Challenge that's currently available for $27. And you can find out more information by visiting theScholarshipChallenge.com. But pretty much the challenge was put together because a mother told me that her son was really busy with school. He didn't have a lot of time, and she wanted him to look for scholarships in 10 minutes a day. So I created the challenge, and it's designed so that over a period of 30 days, your child will look through over 1,000 scholarships and will certainly understand how to use technology. So within 5 seconds, all that information can be organized, and then your child will understand which one to apply for first because it'll organize them based on the deadlines. The challenge is also designed for you as the parent to help you understand the financial aid process, what to expect, and how to apply so that your family can qualify for more money. I know when I certainly started the process, my family made too much money to qualify, and so my mom was really smart in talking to her CPA and figuring out a couple things that we could do, and that's how I was ultimately able to qualify for more money, is some really good questions. So the series is designed for both you and your child, and at the end of 30 days, your child will have a list of scholarships to apply to and the financial aid process and what you need to do so you can possibly qualify for a lot more money. So again, this is going to be at theScholarshipChallenge.com for $27. And then right now there is currently a bonus if you take action before the deadline. And it's going to be with two gentlemen, one by the name of Dan Everett from College Money Pro, and the other one is Daniel Hertzberg from Accelerated Educational Solutions. And these two gentlemen have helped several thousand families. And Dan, the College Money Pro, he's certainly good at, I know a lot of parents income levels, but I know that oftentimes when parents are college educated, especially with two people that both have their college degrees, they feel like they make too much money to qualify. They might not even look into the possibility of what can be done just because they think it's not even an option for them. And Dan specializes in that, helping them understand basically the help that there are for working families that are out there. Daniel, he focuses a lot on academic scholarships and he does some incredible work with kids. Had the blessing of working with him several times and he does an incredible job and it's amazing. Like these are two gentlemen you definitely want to have the opportunity to ask questions. And so what I'm thinking is that at the moment we'll probably set it up so we'll have some sort of webinar and maybe ask you to submit your questions beforehand. This way I can see what kind of questions come up repeatedly and maybe turn those into a frequently asked questions section just for families going forward. But at the same time, I know your family has different concerns than other people, and so I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to reach out with your questions and concerns. So in order to get the bonus, you'll need to sign up before the deadline, which is currently November 12th, 2017 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So again, in order to access that, go ahead and go to thescholarshipchallenge.com for $27. All right, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to our paths crossing again soon.